What comes to your mind when someone says A-listers and Oscar-winning celebrities? Flashy cars, massive mansions, outrageous parties. It's all about fame and fortune, right? Well, not really. Some Hollywood stars are flipping the script in a world where luxury is the ultimate goal. Despite their million-dollar bank accounts and global fame, these celebs stay grounded, living surprisingly ordinary lives. No glitz, no over-the-top extravagance, just pure humility. Sounds unreal, doesn't it? So, who are these stars, and what drives them to keep things so simple? Well, stick around, because we're diving into the lives of Hollywood's most humble A-listers. Number 10. Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, Deadpool. We all know him, right? While his superhero persona is larger than life, the real Ryan is nothing like that. You're dead wrong if you think he spends his days in a 20-car garage filled with Lamborghinis and Bugattis, or lounging in a diamond-encrusted mansion. Ryan is the kind of guy who'd pick comfort over extravagance any day. With a net worth of around $350 million, he sounds like a guy who should be living like a king. But Ryan's priorities aren't about gold-plated furniture or jaw-dropping penthouses. Instead, he's all about family, work, and keeping life simple. His career, of course, is no joke. He's starred in some of the most iconic movies, from Deadpool to The Proposal. But Ryan doesn't just stick to acting, he's a business genius too. Remember Aviation Gin? Ryan invested in the brand, turned it into a global sensation with his signature humor, and then sold it for a cool $610 million. Oh, and don't forget Mint Mobile. He became part owner, made it wildly popular, and then sold it to T-Mobile for an equally massive deal. And yet, despite all that cash, Ryan isn't splurging on extravagant toys. He's the guy next door type who doesn't let his wealth define him. He's more likely to be spotted in a practical, family-friendly SUV than some exotic sports car. His modesty is something rare in Hollywood. Ryan constantly pokes fun at himself in interviews and doesn't take his fame too seriously. His love life with Blake Lively, yeah, the ultimate Serena van der Woodsen of the Upper East Side, is nothing short of a Hollywood rom-com. Together, their combined net worth could buy them a private island, or 10. But instead of living like royalty, the couple chose a cozy 3-bedroom house in a small town in upstate New York. The price? A modest $2.3 million. Yep, you heard that right. Modest by celebrity standards, at least. They later moved to another low-key spot, far away from the paparazzi-filled streets of Hollywood. Why? To raise their daughters in peace. Ryan and Blake value a quiet, grounded family life over all the glitz and glamour. Ryan's not just a great actor and businessman, he's also a guy with a huge heart. He's made countless donations to charities, from mental health organizations to COVID-19 relief funds. He even donated to support displaced Ukrainian families. And let's not forget his endless dad jokes. Blake Lively herself has said that his sense of humor is one of the reasons she fell for him. Whether it's trolling her on social media or cracking jokes about parenting, Ryan's wit is second to none. He might play a superhero on screen, but off-screen, he's the superhero, dad, husband, and philanthropist we all admire. Number 9. Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence, or as the world lovingly calls her, America's sweetheart. She's one of the most famous and highest paid actors in Hollywood, but trust me, Jennifer is not what you think a Hollywood diva would be. You'd expect her to be drenched in all kinds of luxury, throwing lavish parties in some castle-like mansion, right? Wrong. Jennifer is the total opposite. She's real, raw, and refreshingly humble in a world that's often all about keeping up appearances. Acting isn't just a career for Jennifer, it's her heart and soul. From the very beginning, she's poured herself into every role, earning the kind of respect that can't be bought. She's got an Oscar, multiple awards, and a filmography to die for. Movies like The Hunger Games, Silver Linings Playbook, and American Hustle proved she's got both talent and range. She's worth a staggering $160 million. Yup, she could easily buy a private island or splurge on a mansion that looks like something straight out of a fairy tale. But no, Jennifer chose to live like, well, a normal person. Before Beverly Hills, she lived in a simple apartment in Los Angeles, nothing too fancy. Even now, her Beverly Hills home is modest by celebrity standards. While others are buying palatial estates, Jennifer celebrated her Oscar win by treating herself to a sofa. That's right, she called it the most luxurious thing she's ever bought. Jennifer isn't rolling up in some flashy Bugatti or a Lamborghini. She's been spotted driving a Volkswagen EOS and a Chevrolet Volt. Practical, eco-friendly, and totally her vibe. She's never been about showing off, and honestly, it's a breath of fresh air. You'd think a Hollywood star would have closets bursting with haute couture, right? Not Jennifer. She's been known to recycle her outfits. Yep, this A-lister will rock the same look more than once. She makes it work every single time because her charm and humility make everything look incredible. For her, it's not about trends or labels, it's about a comfort and authenticity. And if you've ever watched her at red carpet events, you'll know she's just like us, awkward and relatable. Jennifer's even admitted how uncomfortable these events make her, and every introvert out there gets it. Remember that time she'd tripped on her way to accept her Oscar? Yeah, she laughed it off, and the internet crowned her as the real-life Disney princess we didn't know we needed. Then there's her love for assembling furniture. Jennifer Lawrence enjoys putting together furniture, and like the rest of us, she heads straight to IKEA. But don't let her down-to-earth vibe fool you. Jennifer's also got a heart of gold. She's made significant donations to various causes, including children's hospitals and disaster relief funds. She even founded the Jennifer Lawrence Foundation to support charities that help children and advocate for arts education. So Jennifer Lawrence isn't just a superstar on screen, she's one off screen too. With her humility, humor, and heart, she's proven time and again why she's Hollywood's sweetheart. Number 8. Hilary Swank. Hilary Swank, a Hollywood star who's the perfect mix of the talent, humility, and grit. With the 2 Academy Awards under her belt, you'd think she'd be living a life of extravagant luxury. Despite her estimated net worth of $70 million, Hilary is as down-to-earth as they come, living proof that success doesn't have to change who you are at heart. When Hilary decided to chase her dream of becoming an actress, she and her mom packed up their car and moved to Los Angeles. Hilary's acting career took off in the late 90s, but it was her role in That Boys Don't Cry that made her a household name. She didn't just act in that movie, she became her character, earning her first Oscar for Best Actress. Then came her iconic role in $1 Million Baby, which snagged her a second Oscar and solidified her place among the acting greats. While many celebrities might splurge on mansions and designer wardrobes, Hilary keeps things simple. She's known for her love of nature and often spends her time hiking, traveling, or just enjoying the great outdoors. She even owns a farm in Colorado where she takes care of rescue animals. And speaking of her love for animals, Hilary is a huge advocate for animal welfare. She founded the Hilary Foundation, which connects abandoned animals with children who have been neglected or abandoned themselves. She's open about her struggles and has never been one to flaunt her wealth or status. Instead, she focuses on her craft and the causes she believes in. And while she could easily afford a fleet of luxury cars, she's been spotted driving a modest SUV, practical and no nonsense, just like her. What's even more endearing is her love for a simple life. She's a big fan of fitness and often talks about how staying active helps her stay grounded. Number 7. Robert Pattinson. Yep, the sparkly vampire heartthrob who made everyone swoon as Edward Cullen in Twilight. You'd think with that fame, fortune, and oh-so-perfect hair, he'd be living a life fit for a vampire king, right? Maybe a gothic mansion, designer suits, and a separate house Jay used for his hair products. Wrong. Robert Pattinson is anything but your typical Hollywood star. When Twilight hit the theaters, it was like the entire world suddenly became obsessed with vampires. The books had already taken over, and then came the movies. Pattinson's portrayal of Edward Cullen? One word: wild. His brooding stares, dreamy voice, and that sparkly skin made him the ultimate fantasy. Twilight turned him into a global sensation, bringing him a massive fortune and an even bigger fanbase. By the end of the Twilight series, Robert had earned millions, and his current net worth is estimated to be around $100 million. He didn't stop at vampires though. His career took off with films like The Lighthouse, Tenet, and his iconic role in The Batman. Oh, and in 2013, he was ranked one of the most influential people in London. Glamour UK even named him the second richest UK celeb under 30 back then. With all that money, Robert doesn't care for a flashy lifestyle. He once lived in what he called a small garbage dump of a place. And you know what? He loved it. Why? Because it gave him an escape from the constant spotlight. Even when he moved later, Robert kept things simple. No lavish mansions or over-the-top luxury. He prefers a quiet, ordinary life. And let's talk about his car. No Lamborghini or Rolls-Royce for him. Instead, he's often seen driving modest vehicles, something you wouldn't expect from a guy with his bank account. Now, let's discuss his sense of fashion or lack of it. Robert is notorious for showing up in mismatched outfits, plaid shirts, beanies, and sometimes the same clothes on repeat. But here's the thing, he pulls it off every single time. His charm and confidence turn even the simplest outfits into iconic looks. Forget designer suits. This guy can rock a hoodie like nobody else. Robert's known for his witty and self-deprecating humor, often making fun of himself in interviews. He's just as down-to-earth as the guy next door, except, well, he's also Batman. Number 6. Sarah Jessica Parker. The woman who defined an era of fashion and sass as Carrie Bradshaw in Sex and the City. With fame, fortune, and an iconic style to her name, she could easily live like a real-life princess draped in luxury. But Sarah is anything but extravagant. She is the epitome of Sikh modesty, proving that elegance doesn't come from opulence. It comes from being true to yourself. Sarah didn't grow up surrounded by cameras. Born in Nelsonville, Ohio, as one of 8 siblings, her mother worked tirelessly to make ends meet. It was this upbringing that shaped Sarah's down-to-earth nature. She knows the value of hard work, and even with a staggering net worth of around $200 million, she hasn't forgotten where she came from. Sure, you've seen her in the most dazzling outfits on screen, but off-screen, Sarah is all about comfort. She's a thrifting queen, often mixing and matching vintage pieces to create effortlessly elegant looks. She'll pick cozy pajamas over designer gowns any day, proving that simplicity can be just as stunning as couture. Her wardrobe screams personality and practicality, a reflection of her humble spirit. Sarah's love for fashion doesn't end there. She's also a businesswoman with her shoe line, SJP Collection. What's fascinating is how she approaches it. She's not about chasing trends, but creating timeless pieces that people want to wear. But what truly sets Sarah apart is her attitude. She's a firm believer in experiences over outcomes. Winning or losing doesn't matter to her as long as you learn and grow. This philosophy extends to how she is raising her 3 children, ensuring they stay grounded despite their privileged lives. She often talks about wanting to give them what her mother couldn't while instilling the same values she was raised with. Sarah is known for being approachable, kind, and genuinely interested in people. Whether it's chatting with fans or supporting small businesses, she radiates warmth. Her ability to balance fame with humility is nothing short of inspiring. Number 5. Ashton Kutcher. The guy who stole our hearts in that 70s show and made us laugh in our 2.5 Men. Sure, he's a Hollywood superstar with a net worth of around $200 million. But Ashton is anything but your typical flashy celebrity. Instead of splurging on yachts or exotic islands, he chooses to live a life that's surprisingly normal. Ashton's journey started far from the glitz of Hollywood. Born in the Cedar Rapids, Iowa, he grew up in a working-class family and faced struggles early on, especially with his twin brother Michael's health condition. It was during this time Ashton learned the value of hard work and compassion. He even studied biochemical engineering at the University of Iowa before being discovered as a model. Hollywood came calling and Ashton hit it big with that 70s show, earning a name for himself as the lovable goofball Kelso. Later, his role in 2.5 Men brought him an eye-popping $700,000 per episode, making him one of TV's highest-paid actors. But instead of letting the money get to his head, Ashton stayed grounded. And Ashton isn't just an actor, he's a savvy investor. He's put his money into companies like Airbnb, Uber, and Spotify, turning his earnings into even bigger fortunes. But it's never been about the money for him. Ashton is passionate about innovation and helping businesses that make life better for people. In 2019, Ashton revealed he suffered from a rare autoimmune disease called vasculitis, which temporarily took away his ability to see, hear, and walk. This experience deeply humbled him. He realized that happiness doesn't come from material things, but from health, relationships, and a sense of purpose. He now focuses more on meaningful work, like his Thorn Foundation, which fights human trafficking. He also spends a lot of time with his wife, Mila Kunis, and their kids, prioritizing family over fame. Ashton Kutcher is proof that you can be wildly successful and still keep your feet on the ground. Number 4. Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio, the man who stole hearts as Jack in Titanic, fought a bear in The Revenant, and somehow still lives like he's just another guy trying to save the planet. With a net worth of around $300 million, you'd think Leo would be all about private jets. But nope, his life is surprisingly grounded for someone who's been an A-lister for decades. Leo owns a stunning house in Los Angeles. Big, yes, but not overly extravagant. It's sophisticated, classy, and very much in line with his minimalist style. And he even owned an island in Belize. But don't get it twisted, this wasn't some look at my wealth move. Leo bought a Blackador Cay to create an eco-friendly resort and preserved the environment. Only Leo would turn an island purchase into a project to save the planet. Remember his Malibu beach house? He sold it for a cool $10.3 million, proving he's not just a talented actor, but also a smart businessman. But he doesn't hoard his money. Leo's all about using his wealth for good, like his environmental foundation, which has donated over $100 million to conservation projects. And while we're on the topic of saving the planet, Leo is one of Hollywood's biggest environmentalists. He's been advocating for climate action for years, speaking at the global summits, funding renewable energy initiatives, and producing documentaries like Before the Flood. Sure, he has a collection of luxury cars, but they're all eco-friendly, including a Tesla and a Fisker Karma. And when he's not driving, you'll probably catch him cycling through the streets like a carefree kid. Leo's humility doesn't stop there. Despite his fame, he's a generous philanthropist, supporting causes like wildlife preservation, disaster relief, and children's education. Number 3. Tom Hiddleston. Your favorite Loki and the guy who somehow makes being mischievously charming. With his mesmerizing performance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Tom skyrocketed to fame, stealing hearts and becoming everyone's favorite villain turned hero. But despite all that fame and a net worth of $25 million, Tom Hiddleston is one of the most humble and grounded celebrities you'll ever come across. Tom isn't the kind of guy you'll find flaunting flashy cars or a mansion that looks like it belongs in a sci-fi movie. Instead, he's known for his modest lifestyle. He owns a cozy home in London, nothing extravagant, just a place that screams, "I value comfort over showing off." And really, doesn't that fit the man who prefers to spend his time reading books and sipping tea over hitting celebrity parties? Born in Westminster, London, Tom worked his way up to Hollywood stardom with pure dedication and talent. He studied at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art and started with smaller roles in theatre and TV. It was his breakthrough as Loki in Thor that turned him into a household name. And yet, you won't find him bragging about it. Tom is often described as polite, soft-spoken, and refreshingly approachable. He still talks about acting as if it's a privilege, not something he's entitled to. Co-stars have repeatedly praised him for being down to earth and treating everyone, from the director to the crew, with the same level of respect. Plus, have you seen his interviews? The man's charm is matched only by his genuine appreciation for his fans. He once wrote personalized thank you notes to fans who sent him letters. Tom's kindness isn't just limited to his fans or co-workers. He's actively involved in philanthropy, supporting causes like UNICEF and mental health awareness. He's used his platform to speak out about important issues, proving he's not just a pretty face with a British accent. Despite being a global heartthrob, Tom often shows up in interviews or public appearances dressed in simple, classic outfits. Sometimes it's the same pieces he's been spotted wearing before. No designer labels screaming for attention, just a man who knows what works and sticks to it. Tom Hiddleston isn't just the god of mischief, he's the god of keeping it real. Number 2. Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, the guy who made Alright famous and turned a career in Formcoms into one of the coolest transformations in Hollywood. From The Wedding Planner to Dallas Buyers Club, Matthew has done it all. With a net worth of around $160 million, you'd think he'd be living the high life in a mansion with golden toilets or something. But nope. Matthew's career skyrocketed thanks to his charm, good looks, and incredible acting talent. He starred in hit movies like Magic Mike, Interstellar, and True Detective, and brought a sense of cool to every role. But the fame didn't change him. While most stars would be flashing diamonds or buying their private islands, Matthew's life is all about staying grounded. Instead of collecting fancy cars or $1 million wardrobe, he's known for his down-to-earth attitude, which makes him even more lovable. He's not the kind of guy who brags about his success. Instead, he'll talk about how much he loves his family, how important it is to stay true to yourself, and how life's all about experiences, not possessions. It's not just about what he has, it's about how he lives. He lives in a house that's simple yet stylish, nothing too extravagant, just like how he likes to keep things in life. He believes in having a good balance and not getting caught up in the Hollywood craziness. His famous quote, "Just keep living," isn't just a saying, it's how he lives. He doesn't let fame get to his head. He doesn't even have a big social media presence. He prefers living life without the constant need for validation. Matthew's philosophy of life isn't just about enjoying the good times, he believes in growing through the tough moments too. He even wrote a memoir called Green Lights, which quickly became a bestseller. The book is packed with stories from his life and lessons he's learned along the way. He knows the key to happiness isn't found in fancy things or awards. It's about being yourself, doing what you love, and surrounding yourself with people who bring out the best in you. And of course, despite all his success, he's always giving back. Number 1, Keanu Reeves. And guess who we have in the number 1 spot? The legend himself, Keanu Reeves. Yup, the man who's made us all want to be a bit more like him, whether it's battling bad guys in The Matrix or showing off those sick moves in John Wick. He's not just a great actor though, he's one of the most loved and humble celebrities of all time. Keanu's journey to fame wasn't an easy one. He didn't grow up with a silver spoon in his mouth. His early life was a bit tough. His father left when he was just a baby, and he and his mother had to move around a lot, never really settling in one place. But Keanu didn't let that stop him. He pushed through and eventually found his way into acting. After struggling in his early years, he landed roles in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and The Matrix, and the rest is history. His movies made millions, and he's now worth about $380 million. But despite all the fame and fortune, Keanu is still one of the most down-to-earth stars out there. Behind his calm, cool demeanor, Keanu has faced a lot of personal hardship. He lost his best friend, River Phoenix, to a tragic overdose. Then, in the early 2000s, he suffered the heartbreak of losing his long-term girlfriend, Jennifer Syme, who passed away in a car accident after a miscarriage. Despite all of this, Keanu remains incredibly private, and rather than turning to fame or fortune for comfort, he chooses to stay humble and grounded. He's known for his love of motorcycles. Keanu loves to ride, and he even co-founded a motorcycle company called Arch Motorcycle, creating custom, high-quality bikes. This shows just how different he is from other Hollywood stars. He's more interested in doing things with passion, rather than just collecting material things. You might expect someone with his success and wealth to live in a giant mansion or show off fancy cars, but not Keanu. He's known for being a man of simple tastes. He rides the subway, enjoys low-key lunches with crew members, and doesn't even own a house that screams luxury. Instead, Keanu prefers to keep it simple, hanging out with close friends and staying out of the spotlight when he's not acting. What's amazing about Keanu though is his generosity. He's given away huge portions of his salary, including millions to cancer research and other charities. His reason? He doesn't care about the money. He's just a man who wants to help others and live a simple, quiet life. Keanu Reeves is the perfect example of how fame doesn't have to change you. No matter how big his career gets or how much money he makes, he stays true to himself. But who do you think is your favorite celeb out of these?